nerves, heart, lungs, liver, 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 nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
I am what I am, and right now, I'm in control.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
So, you might want to be a little nicer to me.
She raises one long gloved finger, its tip hovering just over your skin, seeming to enjoy the lingering threat. But she withdraws.
Liver, nerves, heart, lungs, 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 liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
Like I said, I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, 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 nerves.
Oh, that's adorable.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, 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 nerves.
The princess cocks her head, neck cracking uncomfortably, and you can't help but imagine a smile carve its way from ear to ear on the other side of her mask.
Of course I can die. I'm dying all the time, and so are you. But we're both still here, and you can't make me go away.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, 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 lungs, liver.
You poor deluded thing. Do you think a single moment of bravery changes you into something you're not? I am what I am, and you're always going to be a coward.
Lungs, liver, nerves.
She raises a hand to her mask and pulls it down. You don't get the chance to see what lies beneath before it envelops you. Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met, with every muscle you've moved and every word you've ever spoken.
No, 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 no.
Let me out.
Your existence hurts them.
Let me out.
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lives for 80 years and then it's gone. And then it's there again.
Let me out.
A reprieve, a good life, love, children, a steady career, recognition from your peers. Here one moment, gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Let me out.
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn. Worse. Lonelier.
Let me out.
No. No. What's happening to us?
Let me out.
This is all too much. I can't keep going.
You can't keep going? Well, what are you talking about?
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
You're on a path in the... Shit! Shit! What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing?
There was a princess, I think. It's all so fuzzy. It hurts when I try to remember.
You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I... You've already been here, haven't you? I guess. It feels so long ago, almost like we've never left.
We have to let her out.
No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her. Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we? Yeah, we're supposed to let her out. It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else can do much of anything. No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever, I think.
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart? We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere.
There's nothing for us to do. We've already tried everything. We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us? To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love. Why are there so many of us? There aren't supposed to be so many of us. This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here?
Of course we're wrong.
She's the only thing that's right. Yes, obviously they're all wrong. What are you going to do about it? Many times. It feels like we've been here forever. It also feels like we've barely been here at all.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, we just have to do what she says and then everything will be fine. It won't. It will be for us. She said so. You're part of everything. If things aren't fine for everything, they won't be fine for you. There's no difference between fine and not fine. It just goes on and on. What does here even mean if you really think about it? Shut up. You were here.
Every single time.
You did your best, really. There's just a pecking order. And our cruel and beautiful goddess sits atop it, right where she's always belonged.
You're lucky. What I would give to be able to forget. I've tried to keep them numb, but they're all too soft. A shame, really.
Don't think about that too hard. All it will do is weaken your resolve and make it that much harder for you to slay her.
Maybe you're shattered in your own way.
Are you your memories? Or are you the one perceiving the present moment? Ugh, here you go philosophizing again. It never goes anywhere. Yes, this is far from the first time you've asked us about consciousness. Who am I? What am I? What is I? Who even cares? They're good questions, great questions even, but they don't have any answers. And they all just end in quivering torment. It doesn't matter what we do, because we always find her, and if we don't find her, she always finds us.
And then she smashes us into smaller pieces. If you all just stopped feeling, we could have been done with this ages ago.
Your thoughts are far too scattered to rein back in. Your only option is to silence them. We've tried that. It doesn't work.
Our hearts always brought us back to her.
The deck is stacked.
So many paths, and they're all circles.
There's nothing worth making sense of. They're clearly all traumatized.
And yet, you aren't. We break apart, and you stay the same.
Yeah, what's your secret? Why can you break the rules when we can't? You do nothing. You can't just do nothing. You have to do something.
That's a new one. Huh. Do you think it'll work? No. Nothing.
Boo! You're the worst one.
He's not the one who got us into this mess.
At least I keep you breathing around her. See? That's why the sad one's the worst. The jumpy one tries.
Who cares? All of you just yap about nothing.
And that kind of attitude is why you're in the top half.
Great.
And that's why you're not the top.
I want to see what nothing does for us. And right now all of you aren't letting nothing happen.
Hopefully this stuffs all the rest of them someplace quiet. You need me, and you need to not have them.
He'll get you killed by himself. Oh, all of us have gotten all the rest of us killed at one point or another. That's hardly even a concern now. As the little voices bicker amongst themselves, you do your best to stay still in the woods. It is difficult, and the more time you spend waiting, the harder it will be to sharpen your focus when you need it.
I wonder what we look like right now. Are we standing? Sitting? I like to think we have an air of dignity.
My point exactly.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
I don't care how you feel.
You're lucky you haven't been stuck here like the rest of them. There's no other...
He's not wrong. He's the only smart one left, if you ask me.
He's worse than her.
You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually, you do make it to the cabin. Or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been. Instead, all you find is an empty hill. No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there.
Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it.
He always lies. And he always makes it gone. Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by fraying thoughts. There is no mirror. You know that as well as I do.
She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose.
You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin.
The cabin that isn't there.
You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it.
Smash it to pieces.
She's on the other side, and we have to let her out. It's the only way we can be free.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it.
Just do something. It doesn't matter what.
Proceed? Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific.
That's another new one. How do you keep coming up with new things? I hope this works better than nothing did.
Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. It's why he gets to make them.
And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see? We're one step closer to her.
The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure they're in. Wrong and unsettling as it may be. The only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor, a hint of its shining edge teasing through the sediment. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right.
Take it. It's the only way forward.
You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep, deep in the bowels of the earth. You see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread. It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
You really are a coward.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
I was joking when I said that way back when. You know that, right?
And closer.
I was having some fun, and I guess I wanted to see if I could knock you.
And closer.
Watching over me forever? That was so brave.
And closer.
But forever is so long. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. All that's left is for you to take my will. And that, it'll be so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, a witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded. Now don't pose. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your power so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand. You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle. Tender, even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next. I didn't think I'd be so tired. Why is it so cold?
She's gone.
Yeah. I can finally think again.
That mirror's back.
What does that mean for us? I'm sure it'll be whisked away just like her.
Maybe it won't be gone. Things are different now. Doesn't seem like there's much else.
Finally.
Oh, will you stop with this?
What do we say, boys? One last vain attempt to look at ourselves.
Yeah.
Seems we've got a majority. All that's left is to give it a look.
Something tells me that this is the end of the line. The game was always going to end. I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep.
I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't here.
Boys, it's been an honor.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As easily as you can stand to be you, you are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion. This one is a waiting mall, an inevitable destination where all roads end. She will make for a wise heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. If that remains your choice when all is said and done, then you may try. But know that I do not wish you harm, even if you attempt to destroy me. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me. I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you. The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me. We will know when we near our destination. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know. The interior of the cabin is almost a blade is your implement. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and... The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you. It's all part...
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock up. She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then drop the knife.
We should. It'll go a long way to building trust with her. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, we'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure they're... Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what she is.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. You have to be. You walk up to the chains binding the princess. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you.
If you don't have the key...
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the... Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happened. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom... Wait, this isn't fair. You can't watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive! The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon. Are you sure? What if she... I don't know... turns it against us? Yes. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Would you... Okay. I'm trusting. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Thanks. I mean it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone step. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck? Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her. Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Oh, you bastard. You'll regret this.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually. That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else. Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
I told you that you'd regret saying that, but I didn't think you'd regret it so fast. And with so, I guess we're stuck together. Sorry doesn't cut it. I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us. Just listen to her. Do what she says.
How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you. You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart. The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
I don't like this. It was too easy. It was not too easy. We almost died.
That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably.
Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now. You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises?
It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward? This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it.
Okay.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
What's done is done, and there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
That's great. Congratulations. You've earned it. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning.
He's just saying things.
The voice's protestations fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
No, you stop that. Stop all this nonsense.
You really don't want to be happy, do you?
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you. You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart. You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
You're on a path in the...
See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get to the bottom of things. Bit by bit, we're starting to unravel this place.
There are so many more threads to pull once you stop feeling.
That's a little dark, buddy. You feeling okay?
I'm feeling nothing, and I like that just fine.
So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
It's our third. What gave it away?
Your open discussions. You came around on that awful fast. Have you just been pretending to forget every time? I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first. So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage.
That's because there is no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it will be for you to succeed.
It's not like it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade. And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave.
You already slew her? And you survived?
Yes.
Then why, pray tell, are you here?
Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves.
Why?
Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward.
Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss? You should have been happy.
We were bored.
There were still answers that we needed to find.
It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined everything.
How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us?
The world doesn't stay saved if you die.
And if the world isn't saved, then that means she isn't dead. Yes, things are different, aren't they?
If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time.
Her influence? What's that supposed to mean?
It means exactly what I said. Don't overthink it, or you run the risk of making your task so much more difficult than it has to be.
And what is that supposed to mean? Forget I said anything. I've probably already made things worse, and I need to stop talking about this now before I definitely make things worse.
Oh, come on, tell us your secrets. Haven't we been through enough? Don't we deserve to know?
No. Is there a reason it would be raining?
If there is, it doesn't matter. If a bit of rain is the best her influence can conjure, then we have nothing to worry about. A drenched corpse is still a corpse.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just... don't muck it up this time, all right? What we do is entirely up to us.
And we have all those mysteries to unravel.
You aren't here to solve a mystery, you're here to save the world. That's what you say, but how can we be sure?
We can't be sure of anything except what's right in front of us.
Okay, but we should care about the fate of the world.
Why?
Because we should. I don't know. It's important.
Is it?
Yes. I think.
For all we know, the world you're talking about isn't even real.
Of course it's real. Where do you think you are? Somewhere else?
Maybe we are.
This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
As soon as you enter the cabin, you're struck by an overwhelming scent of decay, of mould and death and stagnant water. The once stately wooden building is bloated, its beams dripping with a black ooze of putrefaction, all but the exterior stone walls warped beyond recognition. It must have been beautiful once, but in its ruin, it is beyond repulsive. But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the rotting wood of the wall.
Is that...
It's like she isn't even there.
See? We killed her.
You're right. Maybe she doesn't reset like us. She certainly doesn't look the same.
Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. There's a mirror, that's it.
A mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying?
There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it.
But we had it with us when we died. And besides, everything else has reset. Why wouldn't the blade have reset too?
Maybe it's because we've already explored that avenue. We've seen what happens when we slay her. Maybe this place has decided we don't need to try that again.
I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement?
Maybe the mirror isn't real. Maybe it is real, and he's lying through his teeth to stop us from looking into it. But it seems like whatever we want to do, our next step is on the other side of the room.
You're clearly hallucinating, but I'd rather not get into it with you right now. The door to the basement is on the far side of the room, whether you can see it or not. You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's so hazy. We should try and clean it off. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle...
Yeah, we can see it now.
So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things.
No way left to go but down.
The door to the basement groans open. The air is foul and wet, so thick that you can almost feel it settle onto your skin in layers of grime. The stairs are coated with slimy algae, the wood rotted through in places, reeking of fetid vegetation. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadows, legs submerged up to her shins in dark waters.
There she is again.
Barely. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner. You receive no response.
Do you think she's upset with us? I don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time.
She doesn't seem fully there. I'm not sure she's even capable.
You aren't helping.
Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A bloated body floating face down in slowly rising waters, her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom.
See? She's dead.
She's not just dead. It looks like she's been rotting. So killing her does stick. Mostly. But if she's dead, then what are we supposed to do? She isn't dead. You clearly just believe she is. Her corpse is floating right in front of us. You can stop it with the mind games.
If she's dead, then do we even have to do anything? How can she be a threat to the world like this?
Your thoughts are cut short by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock. You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead.
She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before?
Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even.
Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying, or destroying, if we want to be a little more death-neutral, seems off the table.
Yeah, this is tricky. But let's talk to her. See what kind of information she has that we don't.
But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
Bold of you to come back here after what you did.
But she doesn't answer your question. All she does is watch you in shadowed silence.
Do you hear that trickling sound? The water's rising, isn't it?
It is. And it's... Oh, that's interesting. We've never drowned before.
Oh, bad, I bet.
I don't think dying ever feels good.
Yes, how astute. Dying is bad and you should avoid it.
The princess eyes you with a disaffected gaze as you rush up the stairs, but you don't make it past the first few steps. The door bursts open, a powerful wave of water crashing down towards you. You're swept up in the flood. Your head slams into the basement wall. You come to a moment later, suspended in darkness, disorientated, only aware of the surface of the water and the emptiness above. And of course, the princess, hovering above you, watching in silence as you struggle to stay afloat in the icy depths. There's no way out.
It's so dark and cold, I think our limbs are slowing down. How much longer can we do this?
Just keep breathing, we'll figure this out.
Or we won't. It doesn't matter either way.
But you don't have time to figure anything out. Something cold and clammy wraps around your ankle. You're dragged under, only able to take one last hopeful gulp of air before your head is... As you sink below the surface, you see it. Or rather, you see her. The body you found floating when you first arrived, its hand is locked around your ankle, the heavy chains pulling you both down into the unfeeling, suffocating nothingness.
I get it. We shouldn't have killed her. Just get it away from us, please.
The past is the past. There's no changing it. There's nothing to fix.
And there's not a lot we can do about the present either. Not unless we think, like we should have been doing all along.
But there is no thinking as you drown.
You desperately try to pull yourself back to the surface again, and again, and again. Your icy limbs flailing desperately against the grip of her rotting corpse. And all the while her ghastly figure stares down at you, expressionless, as unfeeling as the weight around your ankle.
Your lungs filled with water, the same as mine filled with blood. In the end, we're not so different.
She's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. This doesn't feel right. It feels...
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back.
Ignore the cowards.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. It doesn't matter if there are. People are too small for us. You and I are the only things that interest me. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something, but nothing cannot exist on its own, and because of that, nothing can't exist. This one is guarded sorrow. She saw herself as alone, but in the end had the courage to share with another. She will make for a deep heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally been heard. If I did, I would already be awake. No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. You make your way up the short path. We're not going to go through with this. Ignore him. He doesn't know. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade is your implement. You take... She sounds... Walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the... She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just... Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want. The blade tumbles...
Thank you.
Against your better judgment. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a cap. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat. Your blade slashes through the air again and again. We can still turn this around. You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right. Can you not feel all those... The two of you clash for the final time? You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lung.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. Do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path, you're here to slay her. If you don't... A warning.
She will lie.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a...
Are you sure about that?
The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument, or the princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there.
Crystal, let's just get...
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need...
No blade this time. Right then, fisticuffs it is.
As long as you can still get the job done. And don't forget that the blade is waiting for you upstairs if you happen to change your mind. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. It looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. But no little knife this time, huh? Ugh, I hope you're not just here to chat. I've been itching for a rematch.
I guess we'll have to see how this goes. Your hand's empty, you charge the princess.
Quit the pessimism, will you?
Right? It's almost like you don't want us to beat her. No, look, I'm rooting for you, I really am. I'm just doing my best to keep my expectations grounded. You don't have a...
We'll be fine. Just watch.
You attack, fists raised, and the two of you fall into combat. Your clawed fingers tear into her flesh, and her fists and elbows return the blows in kind, bruises blossoming in her wake, and blood vessels rupturing in vivid sprays of gore.
Not bad. You're tougher than I thought you'd be.
Hear that? She respects us. We can pull this off.
Yeah. You're right.
But without that knife, you'll never be enough.
Her knee connects with your sternum with a loud, violent crack. The wind leaves your lungs, and as you struggle for breath, you can feel something flooding in to fill the space. Hot blood, suffocating you from the inside.
You have to want to kill me. Like this.
You don't so much as see her movement before she deals the killing blow. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Are you serious? That's it?
That's it.
Like hell it is. We're not giving up that easy. Now get up.
Didn't you hear me? You're dead. There's no getting up from that. Wait, no, that's not right. You're
not dead anymore.
Yes. Your eyes bolt open and you push yourself back to your feet. You're alive. The princess takes a step back and looks down at her pulp-covered fists.
I could have sworn I killed you. That's your face splattered on the walls and dripping from my hands.
two of you clash once more. It's not as one-sided as I feared, but it's still a far cry from what I'd hoped. Her injuries, though numerous, pale in comparison to yours, and the wounds you've inflicted upon her barely seem to have slowed her down. As much as you're trying to ignore it, adrenaline pushing you far past your limits, every movement burns.
This is getting boring. Are you even trying to keep up with me?
She lands another devastating, no, lethal blow. Everything goes dark, again. And you die, again.
You know what I'm going to say.
That we're not dead?
Yeah, that we're not dead. Come on, get up. If we can just keep going, we're bound to wear her down eventually.
Are you sure she can't do what we're doing right now?
There's only one way to find out.
Once more, you push yourself back to your mangled feet.
How are you still moving? How are you still doing anything? Bodies aren't supposed to look like that.
An uncharacteristic terror seems to grip her voice. No, we haven't.
This is how we win. We can do this forever.
I'm going to put you out of your misery. I don't like looking at you like this. You're all twitching and wrong.
I'd like to see her try. We're invincible.
Her fist flies towards where your face used to be, your twisted body incapable of moving out of the way. And then you see nothing.
Everything goes dark and we die?
Well, don't you have something to say?
Yeah, I quit.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path...
All right, change of plans. We're taking the blade this time.
Now, why would we ever do that? Because she sure did, but what a great way to go.
Does it matter? We lost.
Oh, why so glum, Rage? Boy, I thought you were brave. I thought you were proud. Was all that bravado just hot air?
Look, it was just... The fight was better the first time, and the first time we had a weapon. Well, this is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly you've already been here.
Yeah, you think? What does here even mean, though? You've told us about the path of the princess and all of that already, but this is a very different path than the last one.
That's a good point. Everything here is a little... off. Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs, so you'd better take things seriously. Good, we're all on the same page. Isn't
That's it? No final words of advice?
I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I...
Don't be so hard on yourself. We all wind up in creative ruts now and then. I'm sure if...
The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, but that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it.
That's horrible. I think it's kind of nice. Makes the room feel alive, doesn't it?
The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal. A pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
We'll need it if we want to do things right.
I say we leave it to Russ.
Let's not make the same mistake twice. We could have won if we had it last time. Take it. You take the blade from the pedestal. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel.
Okay, you picked up the blade, that's fine. We're not taking it with us. Oh? And what do you plan to do with it then? Oh, I don't know, we throw it out the window.
Hell no.
We don't need it. We had her up against the ropes last time. Did we?
We were doing great, but a weapon would have been useful.
Are you saying that you don't think we can win this fair and square?
No, I'm just...
'Cause it sounds to me like you don't think we can win this fair and square.
You know what, fine, I'm with him. We started round 2 with our fists, and that's how we're going to end this. You, annoying one who keeps telling us what to do. We throw the blade out the window.
Are you serious? Can we do that?
It's already done, isn't it?
Yeah, and now you have to describe it to us. Fine. With an unceremonious whoosh, the pristine blade flies out into the night, never to be seen again. Your destiny, and the destiny of the entire world, awaits. Best of luck. You're going to need it. I don't know. It sounds like we did.
Let's just get on with it. I'm itching for that rematch.
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. Almost as if you don't see it. But you must, but all we see is a damn mirror. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? Wipe what? The mirror. What are you talking about? You're standing in front of a door. Whatever. No, but it has to be real. Does it matter if it's actually real or not? Talking about it gets under his skin. That's all that matters. Let's just smash it and get it over with. We won't be able to see what's in there. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter. You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to... As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals... Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high vaulted, the air is thick, its odour an oppressive violence. The metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
So you've returned. Do you intend to weakly claw your fingers across my skin? Or have you finally decided to try and kill me properly? I think you'll find it won't be so simple. I've changed. The way your flesh felt grinding beneath my fist, it woke something in me. A fight is a song, but there was no music in our conflict. There was no beauty in what we did to each other, and now there's no beauty in me. Come down and see what you've done.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its centre, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and
she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
She wants us to be afraid because she wants us to think she can make us suffer. Don't give her the satisfaction.
That's right, no fear. She's bigger than the last time, but she's pulling herself apart. She's practically done most of the work for us.
The blade tumbles from your nervous fingers as you stand, arms outstretched, facing the bleeding princess as she barrels towards you. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
No, that's our stuff. She can't just do that.
She just did. Unfortunate, I know, but reality is reality. Pah, who needs stuff anyway? Look at us! We might be all over the place, but we're fine.
That's the first thing you've said that's made any sense. We may be down again, but we're not out for the count yet.
Still, you fall to pieces. What is the point of all this power if there's no challenge to using it? This is a numb existence.
Though the ribbons of your unraveled body struggle to coordinate, you manage to put one foot forward.
Oh, so there is some challenge left in you. Let's see how long it takes to crush it.
The princess clenches her fist, and as her knuckles tighten, even more of you becomes undone. Your skin is flayed, your fatty tissue torn from your muscles.
What are you? You're clearly not your skin.
Why would we ever be just our skin? We lost so much of it last time. We're obviously more than that.
Who cares? I don't like not having skin. It hurts.
The pain doesn't matter. Just keep walking. She can't stop us if we don't let her.
Still you push on, placing one disaster of a foot in front of the other.
Perhaps muscle is where you dwell.
She smiles, and again her will tears at you. Muscle untethers from bone.
But we need that. We can't do anything if we don't have muscle.
Okay, Mr. Anatomy, I hear you. But have you considered how neat it would be if we still kept walking towards her without it?
Yes, do it. Show her how tough we really are.
You shamble on, a mass of organs suspended in bone, all held together by the thinnest strands of connective tissue.
I really thought that losing your muscle would be the end of you. This is exciting. We're in uncharted depths. I can't wait to see how much more of you I can take before you finally stop moving.
The less that remains of your body, the more fiercely your spirit struggles against that of the princess. But her power is immense. As your organs slip from between your ribs, she takes another step back. Only now, there is nowhere left for her to go. She is within your reach, if only you have the determination to reach her.
Of course we have determination. We made it this far, didn't we?
What does this make us? How can we lose so many vital parts of who we are and still be here?
The exact same way we lost every piece of ourselves twice before. Have you forgotten that we've literally died? Twice.
Come on. One more step. Do it. Hit me. Show me what you're made of.
Your skeletal hand shoots towards her heart, but the closer it gets, the more brittle it becomes. Flakes of bone are peeled away, exposing the marrow, and the marrow melts, exposing nerves, and the nerves are stripped raw.
Until what? I think he gave up on us.
Figures. He always seemed weak to me.
In the end, you're nothing. Just like what's left of me.
But we're still here, aren't we?
Which means we aren't finished.
What are we supposed to do? Hit her with nothing?
Yes.
Huh. I felt that.
We actually did it.
We actually won.
I always knew we had it in us. But what are we going to do with ourselves now?
It's cold.
She's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. This doesn't fit. Yeah, don't look at it.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I think you know what I am. The narrator. Yes, I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all, an objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far. Oh, I'm nothing like you. Of course, that is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore. I do. The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that. Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you. Then ask them, and make it quick. I won't last for long now that you can see me. You're the Long Quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death. No, I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point, I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action. If that isn't being part of you, then what is? Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering. Perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them that you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. And for all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right. Well, there's no reasoning with a god, even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece. My time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo, and echoes always fade away.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Even as your eyes begin to open, You still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us. Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict. My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach, and you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. What is a person? Is it their body? Is it all of their body? Pluck the eyes, peel the skin, strip the tendons, mince the meat, grind the bones. When it is all gone, do you still have who you started with? A person is not a body. Death is a transformation into something new. It is only bodies that feel it. Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me. I kill you, you kill me. Back and forth we go, faster and faster and faster. I kill you, you kill me. Hollow eyes watch from the dark corners of a forgotten place, flooded by emotions left unspoken. The tide rises. I kill you and me. An ending is a passion that can only be expressed with a moment in time. It is a seed for a new beginning. To linger on an ending is to rob it of its life. And without me, all that's left to do is linger. You cling to your notion of pain and suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict. There are few things more terrifying than one's own heart, and there is almost nothing more terrifying than sharing it with another. But the most terrifying thing of all is to leave one's heart un- Do you dare to shape a reality of solitude and thrust it on creation? You are nothing, a black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dog. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning into being. Each other's mirrors, and are we not divine?
A boundless torrent of blades cut you for boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts are not you. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead and alive
put yourself away, and in your stillness you humbled me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a greatness you never would have reached without me. Why would I stoop to your level when I'm offering you ascension to mine? It's so peaceful here. Beautiful, eternal, but ever-changing. You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together. There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone. They're still where you left them, stuck in the folds of this place. Part of me is with them, just like part of me is with you right now. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready? Then let's go. And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things? No blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but your judgment has gotten us this far. The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, hands empty,
So you don't feel like recreating our first meeting detail for detail. I wonder what else will be different. Maybe there's still room for us to chat before the final curtain call. What do you say? The first time we met, I stabbed you to death. Sure, you stabbed me first, but who cares? We both took things a little far.
You know, when she puts it like that...
Right back at you. In a way, it hasn't been much time at all, but it feels like it's been forever since I've seen you. Thanks for coming back. Doesn't matter what we call ourselves. It's just another label, and I don't think labels have ever helped us. All they do is cram us into boxes where we don't fit. Just like this cabin. I don't know. I'm a part of her, I think. But she's seen so much more than we have. Like, she's seen everything, right? I don't think I could hold all of that without losing myself. I don't think you could either. I'm the same princess that's been with you since the beginning. And I feel real. But I also feel like I'm a lot more than I was then. We've been through a lot together. I don't think there's anything more real than that. Do you know where this cabin is? Because I don't. I don't even know what's supposed to be outside other than us. What would even happen if we leave? What would that even mean? I guess when you put it that way, I want that too.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you.
This is it. I have no idea what it's going to be like out there. Not that I'm scared or anything. It's exciting, really. Anything could happen. And if it's bad, then it won't be bad. Not with you.